Here's Donald Trump on Fox and Friends saying that here's the subtext. The subtext is I was asking for my own Harry Cohn. Harry Cohn? Roy Cohn. And I was asking for my own Roy Cohn, which Roy Cohn, of course, was a horribly corrupt attorney general. Or did he first he worked for McCarthy, and then did he go on to be an attorney general? I think he did. Dirty trickster. And I think this is Donald Trump's way of saying, like, I found him. Apparently it's not that hard.
If Bill Barr was your first attorney general, would there have been a Mueller probe and a Russia hoax?
No, there wouldn't be. He would have stopped it immediately. He saw it immediately. He would have seen it immediately. Jeff Sessions was a disaster. I made him. I didn't want to make him attorney general, but he was the first senator to endorse me. So I felt a little bit of an obligation. He came to see me 4 times, just begging me to be attorney general. He wasn't, to me, equipped to be attorney general, but he just wanted it. He was from a state that I love, Alabama. I won Alabama by a tremendous margin. He wanted it. And I said, all right, Jeff, he was a smaller version of that in Alabama for a little while. He was a very average guy, I find out. But if he goes in, he was so bad in his nomination, proceedings. I should have gotten rid of him there. But every time the word Russia, he knew less about Russia than I did. He knew nothing about Russia. But they got him standing on a line with Kislyak, who's the ambassador. Well, Kislyak had dinner with Nancy Pelosi and Schumer. All these guys, everybody in Washington knew Kislyak. She had dinner with him many, many times. And Jeff was just very weak and very sad. And when the name Russia was mentioned, just the word Russia, he immediately, instead of being a man and saying, this is a hoax, he recused himself, and he had a deputy named Rod Rosenstein, who probably, you'll see things coming out. But I learned a lot from Richard Nixon. Don't fire people. I learned a lot. I study history. And the firing of everybody, I should have in one way, but I'm glad I didn't, because look at the way it turned out. They were all a bunch of crooks and they got caught. But I learned a lot by watching Richard Nixon. Of course, there was one big difference. Number one, he may have been guilty, and number two, he had tapes all over the place. I wasn't guilty. I did nothing wrong, and there are no tapes. But I wish there were tapes in my case.
Right.
But learn a lot from Richard Nixon, and you don't do that.
I wish there were tapes, but I mean, of
show
course,
how much non-corruption is going on around here.
Right. I wish I had taped all the times I was not corrupt. So uncorrupt that if I had tapes, it would prove it. It would be beautiful tapes. Why doesn't he just put a tape recorder in?
It's not the way to start.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like. Why didn't you just start recording yourself? Every day there's going to be sessions. Hey guys, everybody gather around. Let's talk about how much not corruption we're doing.
I'm beginning to think he might have said the thing about Sessions being a dumb Southerner now.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he is really, really crapping all over Sessions, and I'm enjoying that. But what's also really clear from this is that they do have a plan. People are saying they don't have a plan for opening up America. They do. It is, we're going to open up the floodgates and we're going to distract people from the tens of thousands of deaths that we're going to possibly have. We're going to do that by making a whole new story about the dirty cops, everybody on the take, Flynn's back, Nelson Mandela, there it is. And I think that's what they're going to do. And then the question is it going to work? Like, they're going to literally just try and push the pandemic deeper into the newspapers. and off the newscast. You're going to be able to watch Fox News in like a week from now, and they're barely going to mention the pandemic. It's all going to be about Flynn and Jeff Sessions and all this other stuff. And if you don't believe me, you can ask Andy Kindler, who is just about to come on after we play this.
Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second here.
I ruined this whole show now.